Let's talk about claim evidence warrant. This is something that you learned in Comp 1, though it might have had a different name. We're going to use a Comp 1 presentation because, no matter what you call it, no matter how you look at it, claim evidence and warrant is relevant in any college level essay. Now, I have the three words in three different colors. I put claim in red because a claim should make a reader stop and say, hey, wait a minute, the writer has to prove this to me. I put evidence in blue because evidence is usually something that you borrow from your research. And warrant is in green because that's all of the good stuff where you make deep, meaningful connections between your evidence and your claim. Let's take a look at each part. Now, the claim is going to be your opinion in your own words. Your thesis is definitely a claim, and that's the claim that you make that you'll back up in your entire paper. Of course, you break that claim up into smaller claims called topic sentences. You sort of micromanage. Now, here is a topic sentence claim. Airline pilots should be required to take Tai Chi classes. Now, this is kind of a Comp 1 claim. In Comp 2, you're going to make claims about the literature that you read. But for now, this works as a claim that I have to back up. You back a claim up with evidence, and evidence is just research that you use to help prove your claim. Evidence comes after a claim, and you must cite it. Now, here is a piece of evidence. Tai Chi clears the mind and brings peace to the soul. I didn't just make this up. I don't know anything about Tai Chi. I did research and found this in a peer-reviewed article. Now, I have to cite it. Notice I used the word steal. That's a very strong word, and I did that on purpose. You see, research is stealing. But if you provide a citation, you're not an academic criminal or a plagiarist. You're just a researcher. So it's important that you always admit that your evidence was borrowed from research. And the citation allows your reader to go back and check your source if he's so inclined. So here's my evidence with a citation attached to it. And this is an MLA citation. According to G. Lang, Tai Chi clears the mind and brings peace to the soul. And I found it on page 4. Okay, now that brings us to warrant. This is the best part of the essay. It's the strongest part. Now, warrant is your explanation of the evidence, or it might be your connection between the evidence and the claim. Now, you have to do it in your own words. This is where you use your powers of analysis to show me how your evidence and your claim belong together. A rule that all good college writers should know is that your warrant must be longer than your evidence. So if you quote or paraphrase 5 words, then you must provide 6 or more words of warrant making the connection or providing the explanation. Here's a little bit of warrant, and we'll add more in a minute. Airline pilots are under a lot of stress and need a clear mind and peaceful soul. Now, let's take a look at the claim, evidence, and warrant all together in a paragraph. My claim, airline pilots should be required to take Tai Chi classes. And of course I have to prove this. So here's some cited evidence to help do that. According to G. Lang, Tai Chi clears the mind and brings peace to the soul. Now look at all of the warrant I've provided here. Airline pilots are under a lot of stress and need a clear mind and peaceful soul. Perhaps if they were required to study Tai Chi, there would be fewer crashes due to fatigue and pilot error. Notice how I use my warrant to connect my evidence that proves, right, that Tai Chi clears the mind and soul. I connect that to my claim that they should be required to study it. And you notice I say, hey, if they did study this stuff, we could expect fewer crashes. So, there you have it. Think about how you might use this in a literary analysis paper. You would make a claim about the text you're reading. You would then provide some evidence, which could come from a peer-reviewed journal article, or it could come from the actual literature that you're reading. And then finally, you end it with some warrant where you make deep, meaningful connections between the evidence and claim that your reader might not have seen on his own. So all of this really should be review, but if it does seem daunting, you can Google it and you'll find plenty on it. You could always email me. I have several other presentations. I'd be glad to upload them to our course if there's any demand. So, I wish you the best of luck on the papers that you write for me. And, if you need any help, please feel free to use that Communicate tab to get in touch with me. I'm here to help.